Bhavat Udbhavena Kumara Uchuhu. The Kumara said, Yaha, he who Antarhita, not manifested, Riddhi in the heart, Gataha is seated, Api even though, Duratmanam to the rascals, Tvam you, Saha he, Adya today, Eva certainly, Naha of us, Nayana Mulam face to face, Ananta, O unlimited one, Radha attained, Yari when, Eva certainly, Karna Vivarena through the ears, Guham intelligence, Gataha have attained, Naha our Pitra by our father, Anuvanita described, Raha mysteries, Bhavat Udbhavena by your appearance. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Prabhupada ki jai. The Kumaras said, Our dear Lord, you are not manifested to rascals. Even though you are seated within the heart of everyone. But as far as we are concerned, we see you face to face, although you are unlimited. The statements we have heard about you from our father Brahma through the years have now been actually realized by your kind appearance. Such a nice translation. I'll repeat the translation again. The Kumaras said, Our dear Lord, you are not manifested to rascals, even though you are seated within the heart of everyone. But as far as we are concerned, we see you face to face, although you are unlimited. The statements we have heard about you from our father Brahma through the years have now been actually realized by your kind appearance. Purport. The so-called yogis who concentrate the mind or meditate upon the impersonal void are described here. These words of Srimad Bhagavatam describes persons who are expected to be very expert yogis engaged in meditation, but who do not find the Supreme Personality of Godhead seated within the heart. These persons are described here as Duratma, which means a person who has a very crooked heart or a less intelligent person, just opposite to a Mahatma, which means one who has a broad heart. Those so-called yogis who, although engaged in meditation, are not broad-hearted, cannot find the 400 Narayan form, even though he is seated within their heart. Although the first realization of the Supreme Absolute Truth is impersonal Brahman, one should not remain satisfied with experiencing the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Lord. In the Ishopanishad also, the devotee prays that the glaring effulgence of Brahman may be removed from his eyes so that he can see the real personal feature of the Lord and thus satisfy himself fully. Similarly, although the Lord is not visible in the beginning because of his glaring bodily effulgence, if a devotee sincerely wants to see him, the Lord is revealed to him. It is said in Bhagavad Gita that the Lord cannot be seen by our imperfect eyes, he cannot be heard by our imperfect ears, and he cannot be experienced by our imperfect senses. But if one engages in devotional service with faith and devotion, then God reveals himself. Here the four sages, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumar, are described as actually sincere devotees. Although they had heard from their father Brahma about the personal feature of the Lord, Only the impersonal feature Brahman was revealed to them. But because they were sincerely searching for the Lord, they finally saw his personal feature directly, which corresponded with the description given by their father. They thus became fully satisfied. Here they expressed their gratitude because although they were foolish impersonalists in the beginning, by the grace of the Lord, they could now have the good fortune to see his personal feature. Another significant aspect of this verse is that the sages describe their experience of hearing from their father Brahma, who was born of the Lord directly. In other words, the disciplic succession from the Lord to Brahma, and from Brahma to Narada, and from Narada to Vyasa, and so on, is accepted here. Because the Kumaras were sons of Brahma, they had the opportunity to learn Vedic knowledge from the disciplic succession of Brahma. And therefore, in spite of their impersonalist beginnings, they became, in the end, direct seers of the personal feature of the Lord. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurmitan Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manavistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swamrupa Kalamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sijuta Padakamanam Sigurum Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sakalajata Sagana Raghunatha Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Pariyana Saitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishaka Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopikakanta Radhakanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpataru Bhayasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhayo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Galadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kumara Uchuho, yo antarhito lidigato api duratmanam tuam so adhyaiva no nayanamulam anantaradha. Yari eva karna vivarena guham gato naha pitranu varnita raha bhavat udbhavena. The Kumara said, Our dear Lord, you are not manifested to rascals, even though you are seated within the heart of everyone. But as far as we are concerned, we see you face to face, although you are unlimited. The statements we have heard about you from our father Brahma through the years have now been actually realized by your kind appearance. Yeah. In Bhagavad Gita, we have this verse, Namam Duskutana Mudha Prapadante Naladama Maya Aparita Jnanam Asambhavamasita. Four kinds of people cannot approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? And in detail, it's described this Namam Duskritana Muda, lowest among mankind. Here, the references to the yogis, and in these particular words, the yogis are described as the jnanis, who through the jnana, speculative knowledge, they come to the realization of Brahman. Right? They come to the realization of Brahman, but they cannot see the Lord within the heart. They cannot see the Lord within the heart. They are the impersonalist. Right? So ultimately they come to the Brahman realization, the all-pervasive aspect of the Lord, but not the localized aspect of the Supreme Lord. So as a result, they don't see the Supreme Lord. right? And ultimately come to that conclusion that Lord is impersonal. That Lord is impersonal, right? Uh, Ultimately, we all can become Lord. That's why they will also wish each other Namo Narayana. Right now, we don't know that we are Narayan, but ultimately we'll become Narayan. Right? Ultimately, we'll all become Narayan. That's the Gyanis, who here are referred to as yogis, that they meditate. They concentrate the mind or meditate upon the impersonal void. So they are described here as the Duratmas. Right? The Duratmas are those ones narrow-hearted, while the Mahatmas are broad-hearted devotees. Now, the Kumaras, we see that initially, through their meditative practices, they were also on that impersonal feature. They were also attracted to the impersonal feature of the Supreme Lord. Right? They were impersonalists. They were instructed by Lord Brahma, their father, about the Supreme Lord. Right? About the Supreme Lord, they were instructed by their father. So when in this particular incidents, when they come to the Vaikuntha planet and are offended by the gatekeepers of Vaikuntha, Jai Vijay, and the Lord personally gives his audience, as soon as they see the Lord, they are nicely mentioning in this particular verse that just as we heard from our father Lord Brahma through our ears, now we have realized you by your kind appearance, by your divine appearance. Right? So, in Bhagavad Gita it is said, Bahunam Janmanate Jnanavan Mam Prabhate Vasudevam Sarvati Sa Mahatma Dulabha. That Mahatma is very rare, who after many, many births, the Jnanis come to that understanding that ultimately everything comes from Vasudeva. Vasudevam Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Dulabha. Right. While any devotee, the Jnanis, when they are blessed by the mercy of the Lord, they can become a personalist from impersonal feature. Like in Mahaprabhu's pastime, we see all the sannyasis of all the impersonalists of Varanasi, right, led by Prakashananda Saraswati. And Mahaprabhu is bestowing his mercy on them. Right. And ultimately, all of them become devotees of the Lord. Right. Otherwise, they will go through many, many births. After many, many births, they'll come to that realization. But when there is a mercy of the Supreme Lord, that in that particular lifetime, they become no personalists, they become devotees of the Lord. And we see here also the Kumaras, so they were impersonalists, but they were constantly seeking. They were constantly seeking the Supreme Lord. And because of that, uh, um, the endeavor of constantly seeking about the Supreme Lord, the Lord bestowed mercy on them. And the other quality is they got attracted by the tulsi offered at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. As a result, they got that kripa from the Lord to see the Lord directly, right? Right from their childhood, right? They remained spotless, celibate. And uh, though their father desired them that, okay, you become Prajapatis, uh, they denied and they wanted to completely focus on spiritual subject matters. Completely focus on spiritual subject matters. So they learned Shastra, they learned also, all the meditative practices, right? And ultimately, they are munis. And by the mercy of the Lord, they personally got audience of the Supreme Lord. By the dint of their austerities, right? I was just hearing about Nar Narayan, incarnation of the Supreme Lord, that how they were, practicing devotional austerities, right? They are the incarnation of how devotional austerities has to be practiced, right? Devotional austerities. And they practice that in Vishal Badrika, and near Badrinath. There's a place called Vishal Badrika. They practice their austerities. And as a result, all the demigods and everybody is attracted to get the darshan of this Narayan deities, of the Supreme Lord. So, by the dint of the devotional austerity here, even the four Kumaras, they have the qualification that they can travel to different planetary systems and even come to Vaikuntha. And ultimately become attracted by the Supreme Lord, right? Become attracted by the Supreme Lord and become personalities, devotees of the Supreme Lord. And as a result, we even have one branch called the Kumar Sampradaya of Vaishnavism, right? There are four authorized branches, of which one is Kumar Sampradaya, where the Kumaras, as we see here in the disciplic succession, they receive instruction from Lord Brahma, who in turn receives instruction from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? And by dint of receiving that instruction, ultimately, they pass on that instruction through disciplic succession, right? And in that Kumar Sampradaya, uh, uh, there's a prominent acharya called Nimbarkacharya, right? And Veda Abheda Tattva, he describes, and the Radha Krishna worship comes from the Kumar Sampradaya, when Nimbarkacharya propounded Radha Krishna worship. Right. So that's also a point one can ponder on, that how the Kumaras spread it through the disciplic succession, Vaishnavism, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Initially, they were impersonalist, but fully still seeking knowledge about the Supreme Lord and ultimately getting the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Right. Okay. Are there any discussions on this subject matter? We have 4 minutes. Haribol. Hari Hari. Everybody here?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Bol, Hare Krishna.
Okay. Okay. Is there any discussions, realizations which someone would like to share? Everybody's in the mood of the weekend. Haribol.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam, Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah, I was just thinking, where is my Ashesh Karuna Jagannath Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, here, this is, I think that in our material world, a lot of 8,040,000 species, right? 8.4 million species.
Yeah.
So my question is that we know that our material world is the reflection of the spiritual world. The
Yeah.
similar type of are the similar type of species in the spiritual world, in spiritual form?
Are there similar species in the spiritual world, in the spiritual form? In the material world, there's 8.4 million living different consciousness levels, not only living species, consciousness levels. Like the 400,000 are human beings, but they're not like 400 different kind. Only 400,000 living human beings, but 400,000 different consciousness levels of human beings. So your question is, do we have the same variegatedness in the spiritual realm? In the spiritual realm also there is a variegatedness where everybody, the trees of, there are trees also in Vrindavan or in the Vaikuntha planets, Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu Kalpa Vriksha trees, right? So there are those various variegatedness. But in the material realm, that variegatedness is based on the three modes of nature, right? Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. In the spiritual realm, nobody is in mode of ignorance, nobody is in mode of passion, nobody even is in mode of goodness, right? Suddha Sattva, pure mode of goodness, they are completely purified, right? So this various variegatedness which we see here is a permutation combination of these three modes of material nature. In the spiritual realm, they are completely focused in whatever state they are in, whether they are as trees or cows, they're all situated in serving the Supreme Lord. They're all thinking about the Supreme Lord. Does that answer your question?
Yes, so totally, I agree with you, and I understood your point, and yes, but maybe the time is over. Later we can discuss elaborately about it. Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
we
Prabhu,
can. You can contact me if you want. You can also post in Nityan Bhagavata Sevya or separately contact me also. Yeah.
sure, Prabhu.
Thank you
Thank you,
very
Prabhu.
much.
Dandavad.
Then pranam. Okay, time is over. As I mentioned, thank you very much. We'd like to wish you all a safe and Krishna conscious day and weekend ahead. Last weekend of July, and that then starts the month of August. This very weekend in 2016, Shri Gaurnita and Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra were installed on July 31st. So, yeah, Sunday, July 31st is a special day from that angle. So, you can bring gifts for the lordships on that special day and serve them nicely. Yeah, so that's this weekend. Yeah. Anything else? This Sunday, the lecture from 8 to 9 in the morning is by His Holiness Haladhar Maharaj. And in the evening, His Holiness Devamrita Maharaj is coming to enliven us by his association. He's also a local GBC. We'd also like to offer our prayers to the Supreme Lord by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Rama, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram.
Ram
Rama,
Ram,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare
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 Rama,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Jai Nrsimha, Jai
Jai
Nrsimha, Jai
Narasimha,
Jai
Jai Jai
Nrsimha,
Krishna
Narasimha,
Singha,
Radhe Jai Jai
Prahlade Jai
Narasimha,
Padma Mukha Padma
Mukhapadma
Ganam,
Bringam,
Ugravi
Ugravi
Ugram
Ram
Ram
Viram
Mahavishnu
Vishnum
Mahavishnum
Jalatam
Jalalvatam
Sarvatomukham
Sarvatomukham
Narasimha
Narasimham
Bhishanam
Vishnam
Mrityam
Vrityam
Mrityam
Vrityam
Namam.
Pranamamyam.
Nrsimha Bhagwan ki,
Ki Jai,
Prahlad Maharaj
Ki
ki,
Jai,
Jai.
Shankar Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Ki Jai.
Let's offer our humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas. Vancha
Vanchakalpataru
Kapasin
Bhaishnava
Devi
Kripa
Devi
Sindhu
Pavane
Pavanam
Putiyanam Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavevyo Namo
Namo
Namah.
Namaha
Namo
Vaishnavinda
Namaha.
Ki
ki
Jai,
Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada
Ki
ki
Jai,
Jai.
Shankar Srimad Bhagavatam ki
Jai,
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Jai.
Gaur Premanande
Hari
Hare
Hari Hari Hari
Hare
Bol.
Hare.
Thank you.